One thing we as humans like to try to do whenever we're going through something, or just anything in general that happens in the atmosphere in the universe, we try to understand why it's happening, especially when we're going through a struggle. I don't think we typically think about that when good things are happening. We're just enjoying the good things. But typically, when we're struggling, we're having hardship, which is essentially life, like we're always dealing with something. We're kind of trying to figure out like why is this happening to me? Like why me? But as I've gone through life, I've started to realize that there's a reason why we don't know the reason. There's a reason why, because if we understood the reason, we would miss out on so many things. And I actually came up with a quote that has kind of eased the pain. And I want you in this video to be able to realize that it's okay not to know the reason, and it's still okay to embrace whatever you're going through and not know the reason. I think oftentimes we need motivation or a reason to embrace something or to do something, when sometimes it's the fact that we don't know that's going to allow for so many possibilities. And I'm going to explain that thought process in a second. But I'm going to start it with a quote. We're going to go through a couple of things to prove why there's nothing really to worry about and everything's happening for a reason, but not just saying everything's happening for a reason just because. I think people say, hey man, everything's happening for a reason, and they expect somebody to just be okay and just get through life. Like, no, you need more explanation to understand that. And so I'm gonna break that down in this video. If you don't know me, my name is Jamar. I help people become the best version of themselves. I'm talking too fast. And find their passion and figure out what they want to do with their life. But let's start off with a quote I like to use. I actually just made it like yesterday, and I was like, I'm putting this in my book. My book's coming out soon, and I was like, let me put this book. And I was like, you know what? Let's make a video out of it. But let me show y'all this quote that I think is super dope, and it's made by me. If you understood why you were going through something. My handwriting looked better than usual. Okay. If you understood why you were going through something, then it wouldn't. I'm sorry if I'm taking a long time, but stay with me. Then it wouldn't hurt enough for you to grow. When I wrote this, I was like, "Ooh, that's some fire, Jamar. That's some fire." But this is real though. If you were going through something and you understood the reason for it, it wouldn't hurt as much. And when it doesn't hurt, like when it doesn't feel that painful, you don't grow. It's in the things that actually hurt the most, that suck the most, that we gain the most. If you go to the weight room and you lift the weight that only hurts a little bit to push up, but it's not like, oh my God, when you're not pushing yourself to like failure, you're not gonna grow as much. Your muscles aren't gonna get bigger. Same thing for everything we're going through in life. And what you have to realize is it's those things that suck that you're like, why is this happening? It doesn't make any sense. It's going to make sense eventually, but it's because it hurts so much, because you don't know, that allows you to grow so much. But you can't know, because if you knew, if life said, hey man, hey bro, hey sis, this is happening because in 20 years this is what's gonna happen, or you're gonna have a son. If life gave you all those things, you would never actually fulfill that purpose, because you wouldn't push through and you wouldn't have the strength, or you wouldn't have the pain that allows you to become. You have to trust that when you're going through it and you don't understand, it's things beyond our imagination, and the part of us not knowing is what's allowing us to grow and to become the best version of ourselves. You have to trust that. Now, obviously, this is just a quote, and what I just said is just theory, right? Now, what I like to say is I can give you what I've gone through. For me, one thing I deal with that makes me like, bro, why am I going through this? It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. For me, I deal with mental health challenges all the time, like severe ones, anxiety, things that I can't even really fully explain to other people. Like, not only do I not understand why, but it's like I couldn't get anybody else to understand what I was feeling, or talk to a therapist, or talk to anybody and explain the mental hardships I was going through. It wasn't just like regular anxiety, but it was like, be honest with y'all, and this is because y'all watching this video, I rock with y'all. Especially if you're a subscriber, I appreciate you. But like, I deal with like, I don't even think anxiety is the right word, but I deal with like the world and reality not seeming real sometimes. And I'm constantly questioning it. And it's like so hard to live like that when you're questioning everything and your mind's like playing tricks on you. And I can deal with that, and I'll deal with it like for months, and maybe it'll go away or it'll stay, and it's mostly in my control. It's this whole thing. I've dealt with these mental battles as I've started to learn myself since I was like a little kid, and it would fade away because I would forget about it, and it's whole thing. And I would deal with these mental battles, and I would be like, why do I have to feel like this? But I realized it was all part of life preparing me to become somebody that learned how to be detached from needing to know the answers. And that's like actually my entire philosophy. I wrote a book on the philosophy of not really needing to know the answers. It's my whole life now. And if it wasn't for these hardships that seem like, bro, life sucks, because like even when life's good, I can't I don't feel it. I went through all these things to prepare me to become the person that can really do what I'm meant to do. But if I didn't know, if I knew what was going on, I would have never like hurt enough to really be able to articulate that and reach whoever I'm supposed to reach. I wouldn't have been able to write the book with as much passion. I wouldn't be able to make this video for whoever's watching this video. I don't know. We have to detach from the reason to get the reason, because it allows us to go through what we're meant to go through and allow life to kind of steer us where we're meant to go. We're not meant to understand everything. We're supposed to just do what we can and trust, have faith, and allow things to happen, okay? I hope y'all took notes with this quote, okay? Another thing I like to use as an example, I hate when I erase and it looks all like, it looks all stinky. You see that? I don't know. But another thing we have to realize, I think also proves this theory, this thought process, is, I'm gonna start using my little spray. But another thing that I think also like proves this thought process a little bit and allows us to be able to see that we don't need to know all the answers is a thing called the butterfly effect. Now, some of y'all may not know what the butterfly effect is. Some of y'all may be like me and you like to watch, like time travel movies. I like watching time travel movies because it's just interesting to me. But the thing about a time travel movie is, in a time travel movie, and I gotta wait for this to dry for a little bit, is basically things happen when you go back in time and it changes everything in the future that you didn't even think about. So like if you go back in time, let's do it. I hope it dried up a little bit. Let's say it's 2025 right now, right? It's 2025, and bear with me here. I know this like, what is this, Jamar? What does this have to do with this topic? Let me prove my point, okay? Okay, so this is 2025, and let's say you want to change something from 2014, right? So this is us right here, and you go back in time to, you just want to relive a moment, but you don't change anything, right? But you accidentally step on a bug. On a bug, right? You accidentally step on a bug. Harmless, right? You didn't do anything. For the most part, everything that happened, you just want to re-experience it. And then when you go back to 2025, this is what happens in these time travel movies. What happens is you come back, and because you stepped on that bug, like something crazy happens. Like what do we want to say? Like you live in a different state. All these things happen, or you have a different wife or something. Like all these big things happen from small things. What I'm trying to explain with this is that these small things that we can't even fathom having impact have all these ripple effects that we can't even fathom. Is beyond us as human beings. And these things that happen, and I'm only using this as an example, not saying that we're going to actually time travel, but whatever's happened to you right now could be creating something in the future that you don't understand, like a step in a bug, force you to move to a different state or have a different wife. Something very small right now that you don't understand could be preparing you for a life you're meant for, but it's beyond your imagination. So these little ripple effects, it's beyond us. I like to always use an example. I know it seems weird, like, Jamar, we can't time travel. I know. I'm just explaining that weird small things can have huge impact. So when you're saying, why me? You don't know the impact. Just trust it. And when we look at this is beyond our consumption. We can't think this far. There's too many ripple effects. You need to just trust it's all working out and not think about it, because there's no point. There's no point, because a freaking bug could change everything, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's the butterfly effect. If the butterfly did some different, civilization doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I go on forever. But basically, we don't know nothing, okay? So what you have to do, once you understand a freaking bug can change the course of nature, okay? Like, can change if humans ever become humans, if Earth isn't Earth or something, I don't know. What you then have to do, as I clean up, is just embrace, not fight. Embrace, not fight. That is our motto. And watch, it's gonna be, it's still wet. I'm glad. But you have to embrace, not fight. What I've realized when I've battled my anxiety, when I've battled struggles or anything, if you try to fight the tide, it doesn't make things any better, okay? If you try to fight the tide, if it keeps coming, life keeps coming at you, if you try to fight it with a stick, you ain't doing nothing, bro. you only making it worse and you really ain't doing nothing. But if you embrace the wave, if you just flow through life, okay, this is what we're gonna go through. Okay, this must be for a reason. I don't know the reason. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I can write it down. Embrace. Okay. Embrace, not fight. That's the key. So with everything I go through, I just say, okay, this is what I'm going through. I'm not gonna say I'm not a human being. It's not like, dang, this sucks. But it's like, I'm not gonna fight it. If this was supposed to happen, this was supposed to happen. I don't know the future. So maybe this is working out. I think I always like to tell myself, it's like, yo, if you don't understand the future, who are you to judge the present? Listen to that again. If you don't understand the future, who are you to judge the present? So sometimes things you're dealing with right now that may suck, that you make you say, why has this happened to me? It's creating a future that you actually want, or something better than you even know you want, because it's something you can't even think about yet. So the key is to embrace, not fight. Embrace, not fight, because that's what's going to allow you. And then once you embrace, not fight, instead of, yeah, I was about to cuss, but basically what you, I was about to cuss. I got to keep it so I can keep this channel PG, you know what I'm saying? But basically, stop caring. You're always going to care, but stop giving F and just be surprised. My life got so much better when I did that. When I just got surprised. I just let every single day be like, yo, that's what happened. Life is really crazy if you really think about it. You'll bump into somebody you ain't seen in years. All these things are like, bro, it's just, life is insane. Now we have the internet, things, unlimited possibilities, right? And so instead of really, I'm not saying not to care, not to give a, you know what I'm saying? But just be surprised. Oh, this bad thing happened to me? Okay, I don't really know the full ripple effect of it, so I'm gonna just go with it. Not saying not to cry, not to have emotions. Embrace your emotions. Acknowledge them. I've got this from my therapist. She's always telling me, like, look, whatever you feel, embrace it. Be like, yo, tell yourself, yo, that's a normal thing to feel. It's a great thing, but don't fight the feeling. Embrace it. The more you fight it, the less you can process it and flow with it and go where you're meant to go. So I just look at everything that life throws at me, and I just roll with the punches. I don't fight the punches. I roll with it. Okay, bam. I want you to hit me then, bro, because I know I'm about to grow. And so stop giving an F and just be surprised, because life is freaking unpredictable, bro. And you'll end up, and one of the main things, if anybody doesn't know me, I'm an inspirational speaker. I speak at schools all across the country, events, conferences, and I run into so many old people after they hear my story, even though I was speaking to the high schools or whatever, and they'll always tell me, Jamar, your speech inspired me, because what I'm doing now, like you said, nobody knows, because I always talk about how we really don't know what's going on. And I tell kids they don't need to feel lost. But the adults are always saying, man, Jamar, never in a million years did I think I'd be where I am right now, or that I'd be doing what I'm doing. Like, that's a constant. I hear that all the time from anybody older. And what it's made me realize is, like, yo, there's no point of us trying to plan, trying to understand why, bro, just enjoy the moment for what it is, because it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be something you're like, man, why don't I have that yet? Why do I have to deal with this? There's always something new. And even when you get through the things you're asking for you not to have to deal with in the future, there's going to be something you have right now while you're dealing with it that you're not going to have when you get over whatever you're dealing with. I hope that made sense. So let's say right now you really want to have enough money to provide for yourself. And you know what I'm saying? You really want that. And it's like, why can't I get this? I've been trying. But then when you finally get that, there's somebody in your life that isn't there anymore that you really appreciate. Now you have the money, but now you don't have the person. I'm just making an example to understand, to just always be here right now and just be surprised. It's all going to happen. Put in and do what you can, but nothing's fully in your control. And when you understand that, you'll stop being so stressed out, because you'll know if it hasn't came yet, guess what? It ain't meant to happen yet. And maybe it's charging me up, preparing me for something better than I can even imagine, okay? Here's another thing I want you to remember, okay? To make you feel even better about this understanding. Life would be boring if we knew, that's a horrible W, the future. Like, bro, really think about life. If you always knew what was going to happen tomorrow, if you always knew when you tried something it was going to be a success, if you always knew what would, like, it'd be like a show like you're rewatching for the 100th time. it don't matter how many twists or it just not gonna hit the same. Life is a never-ending show you're watching, and you are filled with twists that you don't know about. Nobody can spoil your show because it's unpredictable and you don't know what's gonna happen. You're the main character and you get to be surprised, bro. We don't know the future. We don't know what happens in the next season. We don't even know if there is a next season. Every single day we wake up, oh, we got renewed. There's all these things we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how much time we have. We don't know if that girl gonna like us. We don't know if the job gonna accept us. But that's what makes it so fun when they do accept us, when we do wake up in the morning, when the girl does like us. What happens is all the times the girl rejected you makes you enjoy when the girl does accept you. Like all the yin and the yang, the not knowing, the failures make the success. Everything is part of what makes life so freaking dope. The bad stuff is what makes life good. Me not being able to speak on camera for years is what makes this moment so cool that I know how to appreciate it. Us not knowing the future, us going through things is what makes life freaking cool, bro. If it wasn't for the struggle, there would be no beauty. If it wasn't for ugly, there'd be no beauty. If it wasn't for failure, there would be no success, okay? I hope you're getting it, okay? And so with that understanding, I need you to know, while we don't know the future, there's something that does. There's something within us that does understand the future, okay? And we have to use this to our advantage without needing the full answer. Your intuition knows the future, but won't fully tell you. So one of the biggest things you can do in your life is to learn to trust your intuition because it does know what's going on. Your intuition is connected to something higher. It has this, your gut, whatever you want to call it. It knows, bro. I'm telling you, I've trusted it enough to know, bro. That's crazy. I just had an intuition. Now I'm here. It knows the future. It's just not going to tell you, okay? And when you learn to have the faith in your intuition to your gut and not needing all the facts, okay, and just kind of trusting it, life gets a lot better. So you have to be able to trust it with understand that it won't fully tell you, okay? I like to always say, what if, like I always tell myself when life is getting weird, I always say, what if things are weirdly working in my favor? So when something's going bad, I don't think that's, I was supposed to talk about that later. Okay, I messed up, but it's okay. It's okay, these videos aren't perfect. But your intuition knows the future and it won't fully tell you. And so I have an example I want to tell y'all to explain this intuition so you understand what intuition is in this fullest extent. Intuition will give you direction, but it won't tell you the destination. Oh my goodness. Woo! Intuition. What did I say? Oh, I gotta write that down. Intuition will give you direction, but it won't give you the destination. Oh my goodness. See, I just messed up like a minute ago in this video and then I get an epiphany with an amazing quote. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a beautiful quote. And I'm about to explain it real quick, okay? I'm about to explain it real quick. All right. Intuition will give you direction, but it won't give you the direction. I've used this example in another video, but chances are if this video goes viral, whatever, maybe somebody watches this that didn't watch the other video, okay? But essentially, I always have to use an example. Let's say you go to the mall, right? Let's say you go to the mall and you see a pretty girl, right? Or you see a pretty guy, handsome guy, whatever. However you want to define it. Whoever's watching this video. But you see somebody at the mall and you have this intuitive feeling to go up to them. Some people will take this intuitive feeling like, yo, this is my person. This is the person that's, you know what I mean? Like, why else would I have this intuition? And so it's like you have this confidence where it's like, there's no way they deny me. And you go up to them in the mall and they reject you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're mean to you, whatever it may be. And you're like, it doesn't make any sense. I know I had this intuition. Why would I, you know what I'm saying? But intuition isn't giving you the destination, it's giving you direction. So maybe you went up to that person to face rejection, so you learn not to fear rejection as much. Because maybe in that moment you realize, even though they rejected me, is it really that big of a deal? If anything, I feel better about myself for at least going up and giving it a try, right? And so maybe a month later, you end up having less fear of rejection that makes you go up to this next person that ends up actually being your wife or your husband or whatever they are, okay? And if it wasn't for that first feeling of intuition that gave you direction, you would have never gotten your destination. And so what you're going through, what you're feeling pulled to, don't think of it as a direct straight line to your destiny. It's only a path. And your path is your forever going destination, and eventually you get there. So you don't need to know the reason yet. You just need to trust it, have faith, and whatever the chips falls where the chips fall. But just know it's always guiding you exactly where you're supposed to be. Okay? And so that's all I really have for y'all today. If y'all have any questions or more explanation, I love making videos based off what y'all have. And if you want, and so I'll make a video if you make a question or whatever. And if y'all have more wants to listen to me speak or watch me speak, watch some more of my videos or help people find what they love to do, become the better version of themselves. And I can't talk to end this video. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next video. Peace.